So I just finished a video series on a morning ritual, and it kind of came to mind, this gap. It just came to mind. So that's the introduction. So basically, if you think about it, we all have potential. We're all here for a reason. I don't know what your reason is. Only you can know what your reason is, and maybe you don't know what that is because you've gotten so muddled down in your day-to-day activities. I'm constantly discovering what my reason is. I'm constantly working. Any of you who know my story with becoming a chiropractor and what I had to go through to get to chiropractic school, and then once I got into practice, what I had to go through with lawsuits and so on and so forth with that, and what we went into in getting into practice and moving my family to Louisville, Kentucky, and then having the opportunity that was there just totally fall out, and us being up there with no money and no job and trying to figure out how we were going to do this, and just always having faith that we were moving forward, and we found it. We found the opportunity and got into practice, and just all the things that fall into place to help you to do these things. So then I was a chiropractor, and then I had another a challenge that came up in my family that caused me to get into functional medicine and learn brain-based therapy, and just constantly changing and constantly evolving towards the potential you. So there is a gap between the current present status of where you are in your life and your potential, and we don't know how big that gap is. I don't know how big my potential is. I just know that I'm constantly moving forward to it and doing everything that I can to get there, through reading, through study, through action. My wife is the same way. We're teaching our kids that way, to be constantly striving to improve yourself. It's not about money, it's not about maintaining a certain weight, it's not about achieving a certain goal. It's about who you become in that, and being the potential and the person that you can be, because we're all here for a purpose, and we're all here to serve somehow, some way, and so serve those around us. So if you're moving towards your potential self, then you're really doing a disservice not only to yourself, but to those around you, your friends, your family, your community, because you're not reaching your potential. So what is the difference between where you are currently and what your potential is? It's a huge gap there, and a lot of times that gap is made up of things that are very uncomfortable. It can be painful or it can be uncomfortable. I was talking to Dr. Godwin. He's one of the doctors in our office, and he said something to me that I thought was beautiful. What he said to me was, I was asking him to videotape. We were doing some training on some communication. I asked him to videotape it, and he told me, he finally came out in a minute, that he was very uncomfortable being videotaped. So we were talking, and he said to himself, he said that he had learned at church that when you are uncomfortable, when you're facing something that is uncomfortable, you determine, are you uncomfortable because it's against your character, or are you uncomfortable because it's against your preferences? And of course, being videotaped for him was not against his character, it was against his preferences. So he went ahead and he did it, and he pushed through the discomfort, and he's getting more and more comfortable with it now. That's key. When you're facing something that's uncomfortable, a choice or a decision that's uncomfortable, are you uncomfortable with this choice because it goes against your character, or are you uncomfortable with it because it goes against your preferences? And a lot of times, the majority of the time, it's against our preferences. And if you push through it and you go against your preferences and do what is uncomfortable, your character gets bigger, your character gets stronger, and you move through that pain and discomfort towards reaching your potential. One of my mentors, Grant Cardone, says that if you're not doing something each and every day that makes you uncomfortable, then you're not growing. And that's true. If you think about it, the things that we do that are uncomfortable make us grow. So get out of your comfort zone. Just make sure you're not sacrificing your character, but get out of the comfort zone. Do things that make you uncomfortable. Change your diet. Start an exercise program that's proper for you. Read that book. Go to a class. Do something that's out of your comfort zone. Okay, the next thing is habits. We have these daily habits. Congruent behavior, if you look at the results that you have in your life, you'll find that the results are congruent with the behaviors that you've done throughout your day to get you there. So if you have bad health, a lot of times you can find that you eat a poor diet, you don't exercise, you don't stretch, you don't do the things you should do to be a healthy person. So the outcome is congruent. If you're not financially successful, you'll find that you aren't doing things to be financially successful. Maybe you're not managing your money right. Maybe you're not taking uncomfortable steps to grow whatever your income could be. If you have relationship challenges, maybe you're not paying attention to your spouse and giving them the attention and the love that they deserve. What is it that you're doing to get the congruent outcome to where you are? And those things are habits. And these habits a lot of times come from beliefs. And beliefs come from our thoughts and our words and our actions. So what you think is what you typically say. And what you think and what you say typically moves your emotional status, which puts you into what you're going to do. What you do typically goes into habits. So breaking those habits becomes painful and discomfortable or uncomfortable. So there's a lot that goes into this, but if you're constantly striving to get through this discomfort and get towards your potential, you'll find that you'll never reach your ultimate potential because you're capable of so much more than you think, but you'll be constantly striving for it and your life will be a beautiful life lived. So that's one of the reasons why the savers are so important, the morning ritual, because you get yourself in the right mindset and you become acutely aware of who you are and who you want to be and what you can do today to get you there and take you through and bridge the gap. All right, I hope this makes sense. I'm always looking, we're not only looking to help our patients achieve health benefits, but we're looking to help them achieve life benefits so that they can become self-sustaining and go out and contribute to the community and their family and change the world, basically one person at a time. All right, any questions, please feel free to post below.